All right. Welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel. To the XRP holders, appreciate you guys as always. Smash that like button and hit that red subscribe button. But now let's get right into it. So, insight that crypto exchange Gemini has filed for an IPO with the SEC. Big thing if true. Obviously, it still needs to be confirmed, but if this is a reality, it just gives us a better understanding as to what's really happening. All these big companies want to go public, and obviously because of the fact that there is a major amounts of institutional demand. Look at what happened with Circle, and of course, this is going to bring in a lot of attention from other crypto companies that have been building over the course of the last, few years, or some even for over a decade. But looking across the board over the last few hours, we are starting to see some coins going into red since our last update. But XRP, on the other hand, is actually making some moves right now. $2.21 in our last update that I made for you guys. We were sitting at about $2.17, but right now $2.21, also up about 0.7% in BTC compared. Now, if you're looking at the valuation, back above 130 billion, amazing stuff. And the 24-hour trading volume also went back above a billion, sitting at about 1.2 billion. Absolutely amazing. But before we get into any further, as always, just a quick disclaimer: anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. So look at this. 3 days ago, I asked you guys, the community members, and as of now, obviously less retail interest. So of course, the amount of votes are less compared to what we see in the past. That just gives us a better understanding that, there is a lack of retail interest right now. But you can see I asked you guys, are we going to witness a bull run, super cycle, quote unquote, or will we end something sometime this year? 54 saying super cycle will happen, and about 25 saying it's this year, and some are saying it's already done. Let me know in the comments down below where you guys currently stand with that. So Japan will use RLUSD, all on Japan on XRP, and we know the SBI. These guys are not playing. They have been going all in on blockchain. You can see SBI Remit to provide Japan's first international remittance services using XRP as a bridge currency from 2021, as well as NFTs issue on the XRP ledger at Expo 2025, Osaka, Kansai, Japan. Again, amazing stuff. But of course, if you did not watch my last update, I just kind of want to go over this for you guys to really give you guys a better understanding as to what's happening. The US SEC recently approved the reconstitution of the NASDAQ Crypto US Settlement Price Index. Yes, we spoke about index at the beginning of the year. We spoke about index at the end of last year, where some of these indexes were really being introduced. And now we're talking about, look at this, the US SEC approved. And we're talking about this updated index is consisting of XRP, ADA, Solana, and XLM. Amazing stuff. The decision followed the earlier inclusion of only Bitcoin and Ethereum. Moving forward, the $1.5 trillion bank considered issuing its own crypto stablecoin, and that is from Germany. And shout out to Chad, says every bank will have one, every corporation will have one, and if these guys don't, then they'll be using one that is compliant, that is having that regulatory stability behind itself, and that's where RLUSD kicks in. Moving forward, speaking about RLUSD listing go live on BitGet. So in significant development, BitGet, one of Asia's leading crypto exchanges, has announced the launch of new trading pairs featuring Ripple RLUSD stablecoins. So the exchange first added RLUSD support in May with RLUSD USDT, RLUSD USDC. As of June 5th, new listing BTC RLUSD, ETH RLUSD, and XRP RLUSD, solidifying connection between Ripple native token and its dollar-pegged stablecoin. Exactly what we discussed at the beginning of RLUSD launch is happening. We know, we know the worry that people usually have with other stablecoins, but with RLUSD, people know that this is a regulatory, compliant stablecoin. The reserve issues, I'm sure, are not there for people that had it with some of the other coins, other stablecoins. Now more and more projects, I think, are gonna start getting added with RLUSD. And as I've stated to you guys before at the beginning of our USD launch, look at where USDC is. You look at where USDT is. A lot of pairs are with USDT still. And I think there's going to come a time where RLUSD is going to gain majority of that market share. So Ripple has really planned this strategically, and I could not be more happier for them. Moving forward, look at this. So growing role in institutional liquidity. As RLUSD XRP corridor matures, XRP's role is evolving from speculative asset to a programmable liquidity engine. FX, strategic Mira says that this system as fostering dynamic FX symmetry, allowing for automatic arbitrage across mispriced currencies and compressing spreads without the need of central clearinghouses. Amazing stuff. So NASDAQ listed Vivo Power's $100 million XRP acquisition marks a strategic move into digital assets, signaling a potential new wave of institutional adoption. Institutional adoption reflects this transformation. Companies like Vivo Power have committed $121 million to XRP-based treasury infrastructure. Additionally, WebS International has filed for a $300 million XRP corporate treasury with the US SEC, signaling rising confidence in XRP as a long-term asset. Meanwhile, sovereign-level interest is building as well. Saudi Aramco has begun experimenting with oil tokenization via the XRP ledger, while stablecoins pegged to various regional currencies such as XSGD and Europe are launching on XRPL to ensure compliance with local regulatory regimes. Very big stuff. And just a reminder, at over 600 trillion, real estate is one of the largest most valuable asset class in the world. Now it's on-chain, starting with Dubai's title de-tokenization, built on the XRPL ledger, of course, as we know about that. Just a continuous reminder that XRPL is being used to anyone that thinks it isn't. And with that said, shout out to Smoke. With ownership of Hidden Road, Ripple can push broader adoption of RLUSD and XRP for settlement, potentially making XRP part of the plumbing in the traditional markets. In 2025, XRP is quietly becoming the plumbing of the global financial systems, documented. Now, let's take a look at the price. So as far as the dominance is concerned, it's still pretty much sitting at 64.62%, which is still quite high. BTC, on the other hand, let's give it a refresh live. BTC is sitting at 105,445, but yet you're still seeing XRP making a move. Is there insiders that know something that's causing this? I'm really wondering that, because you could see this for yourself. XRP actually has had a move. Yes, you could say, Bitcoin is picking up traction right now. Obviously, we would love to see BTC pushing up to 106,800 exact level that, we got rejected at. Very important level to be looking out for. But dominance is something that I still am paying very close attention to, because even though BTC has seen quite a nice move towards the upside, you still have not seen the dominance pulling down, which is really interesting to keep in mind. But we're still in the 38-point Fibonacci retracement level, like what I'm seeing here. Obviously, right now we are making some nice move going into Sunday morning. If we're able to retest to $2.25, maybe a breakout from here could be very interesting. Maybe there is some insiders that know something that we don't, but let me know in the comments down below. But the news that I've shared with you guys really gives us a better understanding of what's happening, and I don't want you guys to be forgetting that. Love you all. See you later in Crypto ZX, and peace out.